Fresh meat. Nice. Plump. Banded like a chicken's leg too.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Take this as.
This that organizer
Is
thing.
all.
That shit look
But look at the
canceled.
flies.
Well, I guess they said they'll
Wisdom.
automatically do it for
Flies
us.
know when a creek.
With 2 shakes of her stumpy tail, the sheep turns away from you to
Yeah,
peruse her hay-filled.
I wonder how long it took for this narrator to speak all of these lines.
Okay, let's go. Come on, through.
What additional Black Desert do you got?
The base kick on. Move.
Floor plate triggered something.
The other additions aren't worth it.
I mean, they are if you want the extra stuff, but if you only gonna get it just to make characters, nigga, there's no point.
I ain't gonna get it just to make characters. Give it a second.
Yeah, you can play the game, but if you're really gonna play it for real, it's still not worth it.
You didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything.
I thought it
You
was
saw
okay.
me talking.
I didn't know you was talking.
Then pay attention. I'm about to be getting in fights because you want to fight everybody that move, nigga. I just think all up in our shit.
Alright, you can take him.
Not the point. Oh, lucky sixes, please. Damn. Blood. Ain't that a bitch? Well, Yashaway, it's up to you. Got him. Whee! I want that man to get out. Oh no, no, no!
Whoa.
He speaks not with gratitude, but with gleeful malevolence.
Oh, freedom. And I can set you free in return. Say your prayers.
Oh man. No.
Great.
Now all the fire's gone.
How you gonna heal? Oh yeah, better roll.
Nigga, throw a poison thing at me.
Let this man and Raw go.
Damn. No, what? Bro, that's cap. Hit me with some poison. Actually step back and then hit me with some poison.
Is this what you want?
Just throw it at both of our feet, like right in front of you. It should be a circle, so yeah. See? Teamwork.
What would he have to gain by killing me?
What the hell just
I
happened?
need to keep my guard up.
Teamwork.
Wait,
nigga.
what is this thing right here? What the hell is this?
That's my totem. Okay, Poison
Wait, a
gang.
character like getting poisoned?
I'm undead, so poison heals me, and regular healing doesn't. So,
Oh.
I can also do this. Bony finger.
Come on, dude. Oh, that's
There's a
cute.
key in there. I need to lock it. I'm gonna need this. Need all these. Make a bunch of poison. There's a potion here.
Empty.
Ooh, I'm gonna need this. I'll send it to you. See if I can get some fire. Nope. That was ice. Oh. There we go. Double fire. Okay, well now once the fire goes away, you can walk through without getting poisoned.
Not the most elegant solution, was it?
Just cards.
And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
I might go to their banner free lobby next week. Give
Empty.
me an ID. Start reading some books.
You can't read.
Fuck you.
Why, you're looking
I'm
a
not
bit
Floyd
more
Mayweather.
chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work. There you are.
Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest. And he's
should
the
steal
chap in
that
charge
book.
of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several days.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Is he? Oh, well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they?
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of...
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy.
Don't you need to investigate this? I might already did it.
Don't you dare! If you violate the virtue of my carpet, I'll do a good thing worse and put a collar around your neck.
Index fingers pressed to her lips.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll... A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good wife, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise. My, aren't we a meek little lamb? So let's just leave it on shut for your own peace of mind.
Delusions of grandeur.
It seems as though there's a
You presume right. Zach, you take...
Suddenly, her eyes, as quickly as they came.
I want to talk to Los just so she knows who you are.
Oh, there you are. Wife.
Wife.
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
Fucked up, bro. I should have been a blood mage.
You presume right. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship for it. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Damn it.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an
Take
unnatural
one
black.
fucking switch.
Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Do.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with him.
What's the problem?
Picked the wrong fucking class. I don't even want to be a summoner anymore.
I know it.
Bruh.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
I can respec, but I don't think I'll be able to get my skills.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Fuck.
Just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
You think me mad?
Mad?
I have to do it the damn hard way.
Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Well, you really don't know the first thing about sauce.
Never thought you'd end up in prison, Garfield. That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten and big-messed. Your kind always hung closest. Wolves around a campfire. Well, got this wolf on the leash now. As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
Going to the ball.
It was one of them.
There's someone in that house.
Put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to.
If you would do something like this, we could be in
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
PG-13.
One of us wouldn't kill our
What
own.
is up, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction on the channel. Now, let me just say, I am so thrilled to be making this video today. I have said so many times that I want...
Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
At least a class just for you. Yes, I know.
Sing us a song. I know you can. Be good, you scallywags.
What we gonna do, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna need some of this. I go to purchase.
I feel like starting over.
Boomerang, they call it exploring. I like that. Zarka. 160.
I already know what I want now, so it's not
So I'm
do
excited
it
for
real
no
quick.
reason. I think I have a Liberto box laying around. I want to say I do. Let's put the Liberto in there. Yeah, guys. Go ahead, have a good look. Maybe I shouldn't really worry about Liberto. Just get a green and level it up. Liberto's gonna be a pain in the ass. I don't know how I feel about this. Push the button! Push the goddamn button! Push the goddamn button! Oh shit. Okay guys, exciting news! The new Modern Warfare update is finally here. This is what we've all been waiting for. Trash. Give sucks trash. But I'm not even gonna read the patch notes. The patch notes might as well be blank fucking pages because I know for a fact they didn't fix shit. But at least we have the new battle pass in the game, guys. The battle pass of useless fucking junk. What do we get? In the battle pass, we get skins. Oh my god, we get new character skins, guys. We get double XP tokens. We get a new weapon. Okay, probably still not better than the M4. What else do we get? We get epic calling cards. Guys, oh my god, this is so awesome. Epic calling cards. What else? We get double weapon XP tokens. We get emblems. Who needs to play Fortnite when you've got such amazing, epic stuff, epic rewards in the Call of Duty Battle Pass? I'm so excited. I'm gonna buy everything in here. What else do we get? We get blueprints for lives. Yay. We get card points. We get double XP tokens again. We get blueprints for weapons.
I think it's impossible to make a beautiful female elf in this game.
Nigga, I do it every time I make an elf.
What else do we get, guys?
Can you make a beautiful elf with gray skin?
Weapon charms, yay.
With gray skin.
Or
Hurry up, man.
skins. Yeah,
Said with what?
Gray skin.
Anything. They're not like, you know, operators.
Gray? Ready up.
I want my elf to. I'm still loading in, dang, chill.
Can't even say something. On my screen, it just show you.
I'm a succubus elf.
Double XP tokens. This is the best battle pass ever. What else do we get? We get more operator skins and yeah, trash. Trash. Okay, let me just skip all this stuff. Okay, guys, welcome back to modern. Oh my God. I've been playing so much Modern Windowfare, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing anymore. Welcome back to oh my God, I almost did it again. Monster Hunter World. This is Monster Hunter World, not Modern Windowfare, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I haven't played this game in such a long time. I still haven't fought Gold Rathian or Silver Rathalos yet. A lot of you don't even know what the fuck that is. That's not Modern Warfare. What are you talking about? Yeah. I haven't fought those
What is up with you and fucking up
the game is so
custom
goddamn
character?
grindy, and I haven't got the
What are
time.
you
But I
talking
heard
about?
there was a new update,
Nigga, that's
so
the
I
deal.
decided to check it out. And you know, I needed a break from Modern Windowfare. Trash.
That's one of a good female looking elf character, right? You can't win in this.
Modern Claymore content, but don't worry, I'll be playing more of that shit soon. Yay, but I do play other games as well.
Of course you do.
Thinking about trying Halo, but anybody want to see that shit? Anyway, let's do it. This should be fun. Oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun. More fun than Modern Windowfare anyway. Trash. Excuse me, trash. Push the button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. Oh shit. Okay, here we go. Come on. I knew it. I fucking knew it. The annoying bitch still had to be here. She just had to be here. Anyway, let's get this over with, so I can go back to Modern Windowfare and trash. They really need to delete this bitch from the game. No one likes her. I don't know anyone that likes this bitch. No one. Skip. I don't care. Skip. Skip. Skip, please. Great. Can't skip. Awesome.
This looks just like the Horfrost Reach. First it was a volcanic region, and now somehow we stumbled
Nice
upon
try.
this place.
Skip.
This is actually really exciting.
Exciting, is it? If it's so exciting, why the fuck do you keep disappearing
Yeah,
every time
that's not gonna do
something
it. I
happens?
can't.
I'll head back to camp, partner.
Of course you will. Yeah. How the fuck are you gonna continue with the investigation back at camp? There's nothing at camp. An excuse to leave. You piece of shit. God, you're annoying. God, you're useless. Shut the fuck up. No one cares.
There it is. A Stygian Zinogre. It's really here.
It's really here. But you're nuts. Whatever, let's do it. I might have the wrong elemental weapon, but fuck it. It's the pussy glaive. And you can't beat me when I'm using the pussy. Oh shit! I forgot to. Stupid ass hot drink. Where is it? I haven't played this game in such a long time, I forgot everything. Okay, got my hot drink. Got my Ultra Instinct Mantle. Let me drink my demon drugs, just to be safe. Got my Mega Armor Skin. Okay, now we're ready. Well, not really, but it will have to do. Shit, no. Right. Now, if if I remember correctly, gotta get the buffs. Okay, I missed.
Prepare yourself. Better
Come
luck
on,
next
come
time.
on.
Nice try.
Better luck next time.
Prepare yourself.
Alright,
Nice try.
got 2 buffs. Shit.
Meet your maker.
Oh, fuck it. No, my God. No, my God. No, how my God. Why am I even running away? I got the Ultra Instinct Mantle on. There we go. Come on, let's do it, let's do it. Haha. There we go, mounted already, bitch. Can't beat me when I'm losing a bullet. People are watching this video like, what the fuck are you talking about? This isn't Modern Warfare.
I'm gonna be the rogues, the Blood Mage rogue.
I've been playing this game for a long ass time, before Modern Warfare. But I only wanna see Modern Warfare content, that's why I subscribe. Bitch, I play what I want, deal with it, son. Right, come on. Run away, run away, run away, run away, run away.
Are you done or do you need me to come in there?
Come on, where's the orange buff? There we go.
Probably going to come in there.
Does. Shit! 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 What the fuck? Oh, there we go. I knew that was gonna happen. I wonder if you can even kill it. Or is it part of the story where you just have to wait for the time limit to run out or some shit? I don't know. But I'm not gonna risk dying. Move it, move it, move it. Shit! There we go. Oh my God. Oh, well, we're screwed. We're screwed. Mantle, mantle, mantle. There we go. Perfect. We can do this. It's not that hard.
You want to do?
It's not that hard.
You want to do?
Shit.
You want
At least there are no windows to camp in.
Same one.
Come on, let's go.
You don't gotta use those things. Don't be using blood to him.
Oh.
I'm using blood to him.
Oh, my mantle's gone. Great. No, don't you dare get stunned, you bitch.
So, guess I can use water and electricity then.
Where did all my stamina go? Some bullshit. Okay, how do I get my stamina back? I need my stamina. I need my stamina, please. I need my stamina.
I'm gonna get you restoration later. I'm gonna give you range and shocking touch.
Can I put like a hope, like thunderclouds above me, like lightning?
You can probably summon a thunderstorm or something later. I don't know, not now. You can do rain. You can make it rain, and you can start shocking people. I'll give you restoration and other stuff later. Those will probably be best for now. So you're gonna be like water and lightning. I'm gonna be blood. I'm gonna make it rain blood. Blood rain.
I might have my lizard doing that.
Intelligence, constitution, strength. Yeah, so you're gonna do that.
Gizzard.
I'm gonna give you elemental affinity.
My next next character probably gonna be like a lizard knight. Lizard knight.
So you kind of gonna be close up too if you got the two things. We both gonna be kind of close up. So you best you do. get these? You wanted the good story, right? Ready, so you ready?
Good place, huh?
You ready? Way too much time on character creation menu. Way too much time. Now register outlaw, Ben Squid. Six. Yeah, okay. Everything's ready. Fuck. Should've just picked the Blood Mage from the damn beginning like I was going to. Played a summoner too much. I feel like playing again. I'll be a rogue slash. So you're gonna be more of a battle mage kind of. I'm gonna be a rogue mage.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough.
Okay, come on. Speed this up, man.
Alright.
Easy now.
Groggy.
So it wasn't a dream after all.
I'm about to do the trophies again. Or not trophies, the mods. I don't know how far we're gonna get.
Not far.
Okay,
enough.
so I'm gonna be skeleton wrong. We could just get beast. And wolves. No, fuck that, bro. We getting City over, bro. I don't go for it. We just gonna have to make her the tank. Fuck. Oh no. Beast is a cool character, but his story is Wolves is a better story. Let's have Lois Sabio. I mean, those stories aren't bad for you. Where you at? Let's just get through this quick.
An animal style. Freight or food? With two.
Wait, do I even got Pet Pal?
We don't have Pet Pal. You were able to talk to her, right?
Shaking her fluffy coat,
Yeah. So the mod works.
with 2 shakes.
The mod that gave us all pet pals.
Fuck! These are the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V10. The 1080 V10 delivers a sleek design that's packed with data-driven comfort. This responsive runner is made to...
Push the button.
Come here.
Push the goddamn button.
There's an electric score here.
Okay guys, welcome back to Black Desert
Pick that
Online.
up.
Yeah, this game is so awesome.
Oh, he's the worst person to watch if you
I'm
don't
not even
watch
gonna
Black
make
Desert.
any jokes about how this game is trash because
Wait,
you
wait,
all
wait,
know
wait,
what I
wait,
think
wait.
about this game, right? It's terrible. It's one of the worst MMOs I've ever played. The most boring, the most grindy, the most tedious MMOs ever to exist. The story's shit, the graphics are shit, and when I say the graphics are shit, I mean when it comes to those annoying texture pop-ins, it's awful, it's fucking awful. The game is more grindy than Warframe because all you do is grind. The game forces you to grind mobs all day, and if you don't want to grind mobs, you can go fishing, or some other shit that involves grinding. The excuse fanboys like to give, right, is that it's a sandbox MMO. You can do anything you want to do. Hey. Yeah, that's true. If anything you wanted to do was grinding mobs all day, or they say it's a sandbox MMO, you make your own fun. Bullshit. Bullshit. That is developer talk for we were too lazy to add dungeons or raids or any meaningful content in the game, so go out and make your own fun, because we were too lazy to put any kind of shit in the fucking game that's fun. Go on, make your own fun. Fucking lazy. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be so awesome. This is gonna be the best game ever. Alright, here we go. Now, as you can see here, I have a level 38 character. I do have a level 46 on my EU account, but then I don't know, I started over on the NA because EU's fucking dead. I don't know, EU sucks. And can you believe I bought the most expensive goddamn Founders Pack for this game when it was released? You know what? Moving on. For the purposes of this video, I'm gonna create a new character. This is gonna be so awesome, guys. This is gonna be so awesome. Okay. Here we go. Now, you all know the character creation in this game is amazing. Best character creation I've ever seen in any MMO ever. And that's pretty much all this game has going for it. That's it. The game is even gender locked. Fucking gender locked in 2018. Fucking Alright, so what are we gonna choose? I chose Wizard on the EU server and the NA server, but for my new character, I don't know. What should I choose? Probably gonna be Wizard. Okay guys, here we go. This amazing cutscene. Just listen to this spectacular story. Oh my god. Listen. It's gonna be awesome.
Nauru is the central city of trading. Back when ships from Valencia would anchor in Nauru.
There's poison in the water. I don't know why it's always poison like this.
I'm not watching that shit. You know who they got to do the voiceover for that introduction? The guy that sang Chocolate Rain. Yeah. Alright, here we go. This is gonna be awesome, guys. Here we are, wearing my amazing looking level 1 gear.
Gotta go lay in that bed, bro.
That I'm gonna be wearing for the entire fucking game. Unless I buy some stuff in the cash shop. Alright, here we go, guys. Can't wait to start playing this game again. I can see the annoying texture pop-ins are still in the goddamn game. Do you see that? Look. Do you not notice that shit? How can anyone play the game with so many texture pop-ins? Oh, my eyes are killing me. fuck me.
And I'm
Press
back
the
where I
I
started.
key to open your
Know where to go, but
inventory. Oh my god. I never would have known. Okay, here we go, guys. Our first quest. This is gonna be so amazing. You have no idea. Here we go. First quest. We gotta find someone, okay? Run, 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 run.
Looks like that collar fits you snugly.
God, those texture pop-ins are giving me AIDS. We found him, guys. We found him. Epic questing. Trash. Trash. Oh, we got a value pack for 7 days, guys. Yay! Inventory expansion, 16 slots and shit. When your value pack runs out, you gotta buy some shit. Buy some inventory space in the cash shop. Fucking cash shop simulator game. You know what they do? They give you these value packs and shit to make you feel what the game could be like if you buy some shit from the cash shop. Because they take it away after the time limit. They take it away and say, you know what, go back to your basic account. Your basic account is shit. If you want these inventory space, you want these features and shit, you better buy some stuff in the cash shop. Oh my god, we're getting a quest, guys. We're getting another
Not too tight up. In the meantime, you'll find him on the other side.
I can't wait to see what it is.
Right now I am.
Defeat the grass beetles.
Huh?
You're
Not her.
and you're having
Sounds
a
like fun,
conversation.
doesn't it?
I'm on water.
Index fingers pressed to
My word, you do so well. I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. And you like the ways. And if you're a
Okay, what's the next quest? Kill weasels and see if their HP appears. Fun. Oh, come on, weasels.
Oh
I'll
man,
need
I
to
got
run to
it.
headquarters right away.
Epic questing. All this game is grinding mobs for XP. Grinding, grinding, grinding. Kill a mob, move on to the next mob. Kill that mob, move on to the next mob. Kill that mob, move on to the next mob. Over and over and over again. Grinding for XP. Grinding for stuff to upgrade your gear. And then you grind more mobs to get more stones to upgrade your gear. Then you grind more mobs to get more stones to upgrade your gear. It's a never-ending cycle of grinding bullshit. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? So much fun. Alright, let's complete this quest so we can accept the next epic quest. Defeat foxes. Oh my god, so much fun! So we gotta grind some more mobs. Okay, you're dead. Grind some more mobs. And you're dead. And now we're done. Yay! So much fun. I'm having so much fun right now. Complete the quest. Perfect. I wonder what the next quest is gonna be. Oh
Yeah, go talk to
my
Lowe's.
god. It's a different quest. No, I'm joking. It's not. It's the same fucking
You
quest.
you're gonna have
After
Lowe's on
you
your
have
team,
me
and I'm gonna
killing
have
beetles
Succubus.
and then killing foxes, you now want me to go kill wolves. This is some variety right here. This is some epic level questing right here. Let's complete this
Come
quest.
do that bedroll down here
her
too.
pinched face cracks into.
Yeah, okay.
She turns to
Nice.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained.
I wonder what the next epic quest is gonna be, guys. What is it gonna be? Can you guess? Can you guess what this quest is gonna be? We have to defeat another mob. Surprise, surprise! I would never have guessed it.
Suddenly, her
So let's
eyes
defeat
cloud to
these
an unnatural
imps.
black. Greyish veins run as quickly as they came. The clouds clear.
Good luck, Chief.
Nice. And you know they reward you for killing more enemies than they actually
tucked
ask
away
you
in
to
a
kill.
dark spot.
So,
Lazily
and they reward you for grinding. They're not lying. I'm not fucking lying. It's not a joke. It's a fucking grind. That's all this game is, grinding mobs.
for one.
I think I'm joking about this shit. Alright, let's complete this quest. Alright, let's pick up the next epic quest.
Not the
Guys, can
future,
you guess what
no, but I can read the past.
But seriously,
flesh.
I wonder what the next
I
quest
could
is gonna
lick
be.
your arm and
Oh,
tell
we
you
have
how
to
you
kill
spent
more
the night
mobs.
before last.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck this shit. piece of shit fucking game.
Did you talk to her?
Somehow she wanna lick my arm.
You talking to Succubus?
Yeah, I already talked to her.
What's up, guys? We're here at Movement. We have some friends that we can come by, do some holiday gifting.
Do a little shopping.
Yeah.
Stuff together.
They have some amazing boxes that you can purchase for friends, family, and...
Ooh, this is good. We choose gift sets for each other.
With
And we're
other
gonna see if we know
sorcerers.
each other's all
As everyone lays sleeping,
So
you
guys,
lay
Movement
awake,
has these awesome pre-packaged boxes that make it really easy on you. If you want to kind of put together your own box, though, which I'm going to do right now for JoJo, it's going to be really hard. So if you're up for the adventure, you can put together your own box as well. So let me see what I'm going to do here. So you can do a watch and a bracelet.
Oh, come get your bedroll too.
I am a big fan of the dark marble on the watches, so this is a front runner already. Alright, so I'm putting together this box for JoJo. Let's see.
There's a bedroll over
This is
here.
really hard. It's actually really hard. I think I'm going to go with the...
Right there.
Hey Dungeoneers, Luke here, and welcome to the
I just gotta talk to Water.
2018 Black Desert Class Guide. Alright, now because this is a beginner's guide, there is one thing I'm going to have to get out of the way first. You are going to come across hundreds upon hundreds of posts on Reddit and on the forums arguing about which...
Most massively multiplayer online RPGs in recent years have focused excessively on rushing to the level cap to see the real game of raids and PvP. But Black Desert Online is a little different. It's more in the vein of a game like EVE Online, and it brings that sandboxy style to a fantasy setting with some success. But Black Desert Online is a little different. It's more in the vein of a game like EVE Online, and it brings that sandboxy style to a fantasy setting with some success. Wonky localization, choppy frame rates, and yes, the absence of a definable endgame render the results mixed, but it still manages to establish itself as one of the most fascinating options out there.
So sex from somebody getting that conversation.
Black Desert Online is mainly about interacting with its world and learning the stories of its inhabitants. And that world feels real in a way few other MMORPGs ever achieve. It thrives on other activities besides combat.
She smiled.
Hunt and farm, that's the thing. Or you can establish a network of workers to travel between towns to trade for you. Each activity feels with special currency instead of traditional XP. And few MMOs make wandering through their worlds as enjoyable. There's no fast travel here, but long journeys avoid monotony by means of little tasks like keeping your horse fed. Easy reasons to move around too. Storage spaces are local, for example, and that means you have to go back to your preferred bank to pick gear up. This travel time rarely feels intrusive or unrewarding though, in part because there's no drive towards the endgame. This is an MMO you can play at your own pace. While enjoyable, the main complication with this approach is that outside of combat, Black Desert Online does a poor job of explaining its mini activities. That leads to many immersion-breaking trips to forums just to figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
I don't need a shield. Wait, should I grab everything?
Don't have to.
What about the shield? Grants the scale shields up.
That's just... I don't know, yeah, if you want to use it, you can. It's only a skill that you get with shields, it just increases the style.
But only if you work within the confines of its 7 classes. They're all gender-locked, and the visual gear options for each are severely limited. As a result, you'll still end up looking almost exactly like everyone else in your class from a distance. Combat itself is certainly fun, both on the ground as you'd be doing. That's a shame, because the world itself is beautiful. Most zones look like something you might find in the Tuscan countryside. As you'd expect, this beauty is demanding at max settings. Even my GTX 980 had trouble with it. The uneasy relationship between Black Desert Online and its good looks even extends to its character creator, which certainly offers some impressive customization options, but only if you work within the confines of its 7 classes. They're all gender-locked, and the visual gear options for each are severely limited. As a result, you'll still end up looking almost exactly like everyone else in your class from a distance. Combat itself is certainly fun,
in
Or dismantle this
battle
shield.
eventually devolves into a grind.
Just get back in.
Was a huge XP bonus for participating in a big group of other players churning through hordes of enemies, resulting in fairly speedy leveling if you focus exclusively on combat, mount and on mounts. Regardless of class, it delivers an action experience few other MMOs can match. Even so, as in so many other Korean-made MMOs, battle eventually devolves into a grind. What kept me going was the huge XP bonus for participating in a big group of other players churning through hordes of enemies, resulting in fairly speedy leveling if you focus exclusively on combat. But again, there's no reason to rush to max level, and at this point you're in for a disappointment if you do. It's a design that makes Black Desert Online's longevity
Can't even take the shield off.
even with its wealth of other activities. There are no
You actually equip the other axe in your other hand.
focus of battling with other guilds over regions of land is still a couple of weeks off. Even then,
Go to your inventory.
whether you find PvP fun or not. Black Desert also offers a cash shop with some attractive but wildly overpriced options, such as alternate cosmetic outfits for your characters and pets that run around and loot dead enemies for you. There's also an annoying dye system that consumes dyes after
Did you take both the axes?
experimenting with colors
Yeah.
a risky endeavor at best.
Like,
okay, then just press X on my shield. Are you in your inventory or your character?
yeah, I already equipped my shield though.
Okay, then what do you mean? You can take it off. Go to equipment. What menu are you looking at?
What you told me now, the inventory, and I don't see the shimmer.
Okay, I meant equipment. Hold R2 to go to equipment.
Oh.
To buy items like XP boosts with points they accumulate from logging in.
Yeah, that's cool.
Black Desert Online is certainly one of the most unique fantasy MMOs out there right now, and it offers a beautiful world that's also generally believable and enjoyable. Even with shortcomings like grindy combat and a weak endgame, it still manages to deliver many dozens of hours of fun. For more on Black Desert Online, stay tuned to IGN.
God damn it! Need to get off this bit, and quick!
Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Would you rather sling in or go out? Don't go out. Sling in.
Nothing beats the joy of slinging in. You can save hundreds
I
of
fucked up.
America's
I guess we're fighting now.
streaming service.
Damn it, you're a lot closer than I am.
To another video. Today we're going to be playing a Korean MMORPG called Black Desert Online. This game's expected to be released sometime in 2016 in the West. However, I managed to get on the Korean version so I can show you guys what the game's kind of looking like a bit early. So let's jump into it, create a character and see if this game's worth playing. So we're going to create a character. There's already a few characters created because someone actually let me use their account to make this video, which is quite nice to create something new. Okay, so there's 12 classes: the warrior, the ranger, the coach, the sorcerer.
You know you can also attack.
The tamer, the valkyrie, the blader, the club. Don't know what that entails. She can never get around all day. Witch.
You don't have to always
She looks kind of cool. The wizard. You shall not pass. The kunaichi. Not sure what that is. And the ninja. Fuck, dude, they all look so realistic. I think I definitely want to be a ninja. Ninjas are always cool. Zodiac, so you pin something from here. Dragon is always cool. Weather, so this is just to show you what your character looks like in different lights. Hairstyle, so game over in Korea right now. Shape. What? You can really fine-tune the hair. Look at all the hair colours, they look so good. You can have highlights in your hair, so you can have black and red hair.
I know.
That is awesome. Hello, my friend. They've added an option so you can make your character look sweaty. Look at that difference. What? Obviously got to
Finish the fight, but you gotta watch out for AoEs like that.
Whoa, what?
Hit us all. And you fucked up my blood with that damn water.
I didn't know I could damage you.
The character customization's ridiculous.
Well, now you know, if you do shock like that and we're all standing in a puddle of water, you can hit us all.
Got that man to a crisp.
This is absolutely crazy. I could spend hours making a character. Lots of different tattoo options, environment. Okay, what else can we customize? The body. Edit pose. You can make poses. What? There we go, that's my pose. Customization complete. Okay, here he is. Here's my ninja, Kenshiro. This seems to be the loading screen. Tells me a little bit about mobs and stuff, a little bit of information. Cinematic hype. Is this my first town? Here I am, Mr. Ninja. Got this little spirit thing. Seems to be telling me what to do. The English translation for this isn't perfect. It's just some kind of English thing, so I can actually understand a little bit what's going on. What do you really mean? We're in the game. Hi. I'm throwing ninja stars. This is just me holding down left click. Look how smooth that is. Right click just throws ninja stars. I'm so excited. For an MMO, it's a really good looking game. I can't wait to see the combat. What? I can double jump. Yes, I'm a ninja that can double jump. It's nice that they added a bit of voice acting into the quests. I wonder if every single quest has voice acting. Shows a little video when you hover over the spell, show what it actually does.
Oh. Yes?
Yeah.
The skeleton
It'd be nice if these things would go
that you were
away.
mortal once.
Sit down, move
Could you not have let
forward.
their
I know the
ignorance?
buttons.
I have neither
Well,
lungs to drown. No. Damp roads. You, on the other hand, would be better placed finding a lifeboat.
What the fuck is wrong with my PC, dude? Why won't it fucking increase from 24 frames per fuck? What is wrong with the frame rate? I just want to enjoy the game. By turning the texture quality to medium and the graphics to medium high,
Remember,
I'm now getting 12
you may
frames
not
per
be
second.
about to drown.
An increase
There are
of
more
about 4
dangers
frames
than a
per
wet
second.
skull.
How?
The skeleton resumes
Okay, so
his...
after a bunch of stress, I've reinstalled the game, applied a new patch.
Skeleton
I'm
fold.
now getting near 60 frames per second, probably about 50 whilst I'm recording. So I'm good now. There's a lot of stress, and I'm sorry if there's a bit of a chunk of the video missing when I edit this.
I can open the door.
Was so bad previously. So now we can enjoy the game. Let's go. So similar to Terra, this game lets you aim your character around. You don't control your character with the mouse or click abilities. To use the mouse, you press Control and it unlocks the mouse option. Press it again and you go back to this view. Currently we're level 13 now. I don't even remember leveling up. It's just been ridiculously quick.
Hey, don't come here, don't come here. You just fuck the room. You can come here up to here. Just don't go in this fog or you'll die.
I can do a double backflip. Dodge forwards,
Yes, you can.
dash forwards. To the
I'm a
side,
skeleton.
side flip. And I think that's really cool.
I'm gonna put that fog out with water.
It is a really
It's
beautiful
fog.
game, and
That
despite
fog
my
is
rating earlier,
immune
it
to
actually does seem to
everything.
run pretty well. If you get rid of all of this and just tick the box that says quest, it really helps you navigate a
Not really anything in here.
That's nice, and there's actually cutscenes whilst you're questing. For a game called Black Desert, I'm surprised it's not actually set in the desert. Somehow Mr. Black's spirit. Is it me, or does he just get creepier and creepier as this game... Hello, and welcome back to another video. As many of you know, I've been playing a lot of Black Desert Online recently, and I feel like I'm at the point where I'm pretty much got a full opinion on almost every aspect of the
died.
game. As of making this video,
I told you not to go in the fog.
You said come on.
And how'd you go into the fog? I wasn't in the fog. I was back outside. Come on, come on. Why would I tell you to walk in there? How you sound? This man thought I was in the seat. Well, you gotta pay attention. Your ass on your phone. Y'all is always trying to multitask.
In a recent interview, Dom EU said they didn't expect the game to be
Where's my
so popular
scroll?
and weren't prepared for the large
Hey,
amount of
try not to die. You gotta use resurrection scrolls in this game.
experienced worse game launches,
Them
and
bitches be
anyone
hard to
with
find,
sense
really.
should expect issues for any MMO launch. Regardless of the launch,
Yeah,
though, I
you
feel
wanna
like
bring
Black
your
Desert
ass
is a
back to
game
life.
you'll either absolutely adore or completely hate. For me personally, I love the game and can't stop playing it. I play it every single day and genuinely look forward to having
Come on, why are you going back in there?
Since I first discovered World of Warcraft, and I can honestly see myself
Stand on his blood. Stand right here.
That being said, there's many things that I dislike about the game that I hope will be sorted out. So for the sake of objectivity, I'm going to
stand in between the blood.
Because some of these things may be deal breakers for you. The game suffers from really bad texture.
I didn't do shit. Nigga, use your bedroll. You got one in your inventory.
Very close to where your character is.
I can't make it rain blood yet, so I can't help.
I find it rather annoying when recording panic.
I got potion.
Okay, well use your bedroll. It heals you without having to use the potion. The bedroll is...
Well, me using a bedroll, it just go away though after one use?
No. It lasts forever. That's why it's a waste to use your potion. Okay.
And it's extremely noticeable things now, because some of these things may be deal breakers for you. The game suffers from really bad texture popping. When you're running through the world, objects pop in very close to where your character is, and it's extremely noticeable. I find it rather annoying when I'm running panic shots, and this is one of the main things I want to see fixed in this game. The publishers DOM EU are aware of this issue and are waiting for a response from the developers Perlabis to see if it can be fixed. Black Desert does have its own custom game engine though, so I'm just hoping that this isn't something that's too heavily built in. Black Desert has a massive lack of in-game cosmetics. If you don't want to spend money on an outfit from the cash shop, then you can expect your character to look exactly the same at level 50 as they did at level 1. You can get a few outfits if you invest into a costume mill building, but they all look pretty crap. Now, I'd have no problem with the lack of in-game obtainable cosmetics in Black Desert if it was a free-to-play game like it is in Korea. However, it's not. It's a buy-to-play game, and I think there should be at least some form of visual progression as your character levels up. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Maybe a new outfit for each class.
Look at all that blood.
I think in the long run, this would actually generate more money for the company rather than forcing people to the cash shop to look different. But hey, what can you do? Whilst on the topic of costumes in the cash shop, there's one item that's caused a lot of controversy within the Black Desert community.
No, why are you making it rain?
This is a costume that's exclusive to the cash shop.
My blood. You gotta tell me if you're about to do that, man.
Because it makes you slightly harder to see. Personally, I don't consider it pay to win, but that's because everyone has their own definition of what pay to win means, and it's pointless to even debate at this point. I would, however, prefer if this item was completely removed from Black Desert has a massive lack of in-game cosmetics. If you don't want to spend money on an outfit from the cash shop, then you can expect your character to look exactly the same at level 50 as they did at level 1. You can get a few outfits if you invest into a costume mill building, but they all look pretty crap. Now, I'd have no problem with the lack of in-game obtainable cosmetics in Black Desert if it was a free-to-play game like it's in Korea. However, it's not. It's a buy-to-play game, and I think there should be at least some form of visual progression as your character levels up. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy, maybe a new outfit for each class every 10 or 20 levels. I think in the long run this would actually generate more money for the company rather than...
Now here's something useful you can do with your rain.
But hey, what can you
make it rain all over here.
On the topic of costumes in the cash shop, there's one item that's
over that fire?
Controversy within the Black Desert community.
Up the stairs? Oh yeah, go outside.
This whole air, well, fire is going up here, but it's still up here.
People argue that this costume is pay to win because it makes you slightly harder to see. Personally, I don't consider it pay to win, but that's because everyone has their own definition of what pay to win means, and it's pointless to even debate at this point. I would, however, prefer if this item was completely removed from the game so I don't have to hear people whining about it. I myself have a ghillie suit and dislike that it's in the game for the following reasons. It's annoying as fuck to call targets in PvP
here,
when
take a scroll
everyone looks the same and we can't see their name. Due to the fact it does make you harder to see, I feel compelled to wear it all the time in PvP so I'm on a level playing field with the attackers, which sucks nuts because I personally think the ghillie suit looks stupid and I'd rather be wearing something else. And finally, it gives people an excuse for just sucking at the game. Now, I've fought many people wearing ghillie suits 1v1 without wearing one myself, and I think the advantage it gives is pretty damn small. If anything, it makes it easier for people to run away from you, but if you look at the minimap like a decent player, you'll have no problems finding them regardless. The costume gives you no combat stats, and I just think it's more of an annoyance than anything. An annoyance that we shouldn't be dealing with considering we paid for the game. Other than that, you can also buy pets that loot for you on the cash shop, but I consider that more of a convenience thing more than anything. Overall, I think the people that brand Black Desert as a pay-to-win game are pretty retarded. I mean, there's no way of buying actual power in this game, and due to the fact that there's no player to
Not
play
letting me get on.
training, you can't even buy silver from
Come down. Are you not paying attention, bro? I'm down here. See, that's what I'm talking about. You keep looking at your phone.
Just buy a bunch of WoW tokens, put them on the auction house, and buy some mythic bind on equip items without even doing a single raid. Another thing I dislike about Black Desert is that it does a horrible job in teaching new players how the game works. I'm not too sure how they could fix this because the game does have a ton of depth, and they do have some systems in place to help with this, but I do think there's some improvement that can be made. I think the biggest problem that new players face when trying this game for the first time is that they play it as if it's a theme park MMO, and don't quite understand that it's the complete opposite. The final thing that annoys me about Black Desert is that everything in this game is RNG, from upgrading gear, breeding your horses, the conversation minigame, the chance to lose gems on death, worker promotions, and bargaining with NPCs, and even buying things off the marketplace to a certain extent. I don't mind some RNG, but sometimes it gets a bit tiring and stressful. If you get a bad run of RNG, it can cause you to just say, fuck this game for the rest of the day. The next few things I'm going to mention aren't things that I have a problem with, but they're common complaints that I often see other people make about the game. It's a buy-to-play game. Now personally I'm glad it's a buy-to-play game because the Korean and Russian free-to-play versions of Black Desert are heavily pay-to-win compared to our version. And considering the amount of content there is to explore in the game, I think the price tag is completely fine. The main problem with the game being buy-to-play is that less people will be inclined to check it out. And in my opinion, this is a game you really need to try before you buy. Luckily though, you can get 7-day guest passes for this game from people that have previously bought it. So if you're on the fence with this one, then I'd suggest trying to get a guest pass. There's no traditional endgame PvE content. Now notice that I used the word traditional because Black Desert does have a ton of PvE content. However, when people say there's no PvE content, what they really mean is there's no instance to dungeons or raids with the loot treadmill that you'll find in theme park MMOs. For PvE endgame, Black Desert has the following: boss scrolls, world bosses, whale hunting, guild quests, and mob grinding. Boss scrolls will be given to you daily and weekly and require you to group up with guild bosses and for gear upgrades. They're really easy in a group, but might give you more of a challenge if you do it solo. World bosses spawn at certain locations in the world and drop the best gear in the game, but do require a lot of players to take down. If you're under gear, it's probably a good idea to bring everything you can find. I'm not a fan of world bosses myself because I find them to be a long, drawn-out Zerg fight more than anything, where ranged players have a distinct advantage due to so many one-hit mechanics, but I suppose they're not too bad if you've got really good. Whale hunting basically requires you to build a boat, sail out to sea, and hunt whales. I haven't had the chance to do this myself yet, but it seems like good fun. Guild quests require you to go out as a guild and kill a certain amount of a specific enemy or collect some resources through gathering. Upon completing the guild quest, the guild will earn money and guild points which can be spent on various guild-related things. Mob grinding is exactly what you'd assume it to be. Just go out in the world and kill stuff in hopes of a rare drop and to progress your character past the soft cap. Whilst leveling, I didn't enjoy the grinding in this game, but as soon as I hit the soft cap and started gearing up, it became a lot more enjoyable.
I hear a lot of negative stuff about this game.
Solo and fight some damn hard mobs for a chance at some really rare items. It doesn't feel as boring as it does before the soft cap because there's a real chance of you dying. And due to the fact you lose a small amount of XP upon death, I think that adds a good amount of risk to reward with endgame grinding.
This review was 3 hours, 3 years ago.
PvE content in Black Desert because it's a very PvE-focused game, but there's definitely a few things you can do. Just don't expect a raiding scene like World of Warcraft has, for example. Another thing people really don't like about Black Desert is the gender-locked and age-locked classes. Apparently the reason behind it is so that it makes sense with the lore. I think they could probably take away a few more of these restrictions though, but it's not something that bothers me too much. But I do know from the comments of my videos that a lot of people just refuse to play games with any form of gender lock. Another thing I hear people complain about with Black Desert is the leveling. Unlike normal MMOs, you don't do quests in order to level up. Instead, you grind a lot of mobs. You can also earn a small amount of XP through professions, which is what I did almost exclusively from 50 to 51. As much as I think that grinding in this game isn't too bad due to the combat being really fun, I do think it'd be nice if you at least got some XP from quests, even if it's just a small amount, just to give you that extra sense of progression. The final thing I hear people complain about with this game is the fact that you lose XP when you die. At low levels, the amount you lose isn't even noticeable, but once you hit the soft cap, it becomes a lot more punishing. You can't lose your levels or anything, but you lose
You
about
can
1
get
to
to a lure
2%
if
of
you
your
want
XP
to.
past level 50 for a death, which
There's
is
that
about
green
20
dot up there,
minutes
but you
worth
gotta
of
walk up
grinding.
to him and follow you.
Personally,
You
I
gotta
quite
fight
like
these
the
guys
fact that
first,
you
though.
lose XP for dying because it kind of forces you to learn how to play. I don't think I'd be anywhere near as good as I am at the game now if I
Come on,
wasn't
man.
afraid of losing XP. It's harsh but necessary in this game.
Well, I'm fighting for free.
So, just as a quick recap, the things I dislike
Oh,
about
you
Black
already
Desert are as follows.
have
The
them.
bad
You didn't
texture
follow
popping,
you.
the lack of in-game cosmetics, the ghillie suit,
I already have
the
'em.
cash shop being a little overpriced,
Joshua,
the way it fails to teach new players
he's a
about the game,
companion, my
the
nigga.
world bosses being a bit of
You
a
have to go up there and talk to him so he can
everything in the
follow
game
you. I'm
having
not
an element
asking
of
you to download the
RNG to it,
DLC.
and
What are you
some of the
talking
character
about?
creation restrictions such
Never
as gender
mind.
and age. Some of the things that other
You're
people
tweaking.
dislike about Black Desert, which don't bother me personally, are it's a buy-to-play game rather than a free-to-play game. It doesn't have a traditional MMO endgame of PvE dungeons and raiding. There's no level cap. You can lose experience when you die. Past level 45, other players can PK you if
Please
they
don't
like.
make it rain.
It's an Asian MMO. It has high system requirements. At first, the game appears to be really easy. You need to grind mobs to level up rather than questing, and it's region locked. Dumb EU don't have the license to publish the game in South America and a few other countries. Okay, so now after talking about the potential negatives in this game for far too long, you're probably thinking, well, Peon, that's a lot of issues. You made this game sound like shit, but don't worry, because I honestly feel like the positives in this game far outweigh the potential negatives. So much so that the negatives I mentioned earlier don't really bother me too much. The main thing I love about Black Desert is the combat system. It's by far the most fun combat I've ever experienced in an MMO. It's fast-paced, impactful, and you feel like an absolute god. Due to the combat being so good, it actually makes the grind in this game less of an issue. And there's times when I log in and just feel like grinding for fun, which is weird, because the whole grinding aspect of this game really concerned me as a new player. Starting out in the game, the combat will be rather basic at first. You'll be taught a few combos and learn some skills, but after that you're on your own. As you level up, you'll be given skill points to spend on new abilities in a talent tree similar to the one in vanilla World of Warcraft. As a new player, don't worry too much about messing up your build, because at level 45 you get a free skill reset. But after that you need to pay money to reset your skills, so past 45 you should go and look at some build guides. One mistake I see new players make all the time with the combat in this game is finding all of their abilities
and
to their
comment that they
hotbar
must have been the
instead of
cause of the
using
shipwreck.
combos. Don't do this, you'll put yourself at a disadvantage. I also wouldn't recommend changing the keybinds from default because this can mess up your combos.
They didn't put up
You
much
should
of a
only really
fight.
use your hotbar
Dry
for
land
potions and
mustn't
a
see.
few abilities that aren't combos. Something else this game has is mounted combat, which is especially effective on a ranger or
There's an apple and a
spellcaster if
potion
your
on
mount has the right abilities. I haven't tried it myself yet as I need to get a piece of gear for my horse
Right
first,
here.
but I've seen some players use it really effectively and it does look like good fun. The next thing I really like about this game is
You
the
go up there
world.
and talk
It
to
looks
Sir
beautiful
Laura.
and feels alive. This is an entirely open world game with no loading screens. There's also no fast travel or flying in Black Desert, which makes the world feel even bigger and more immersive.
Another giant
Currently the world is much
speech
smaller in the Western version than the Korean version of Black Desert because we're still awaiting content updates that will unlock another 2/3 of the world. As it is though, it's still a 15-minute horse ride from one end to the other, providing you've got a fast horse. And that's not even mentioning all the islands out there you can go explore on your boat.
What's that?
Another thing I like about Black Desert is the crafting. It's incredibly
Hurry
in-depth
finish
and feels
dialogue with
rewarding.
your monster
Personally, I've never
costume.
been that interested in professions when playing
Already
MMOs,
talked to
but
him.
in this game it's one of my favourite things
servants
to
that
do.
can do so
Due to
again.
the fact
What
that
did
there's no
he say?
player-to-player trading, the people that put in the effort to
Useless
get
stuff.
high crafting levels can make a ton of money by selling rare materials used to make wagons, boats, and components on the marketplace within a set
I
price
guess he's
range.
gonna follow
These
me.
materials are almost instantly bought by other players, so it kind of feels easier to level up your own profession
Didn't think
than
you wanted to
crafting
follow me.
yourself. I think that's
No,
probably the
we
reason
will
I've
have
never
the
really got
giant
into
now.
professions in
Onwards,
other MMOs.
shield.
There just wasn't much of an incentive to
That's
do
just
it
'cause
when I
I'm
could
a
just give
host.
someone else the materials and a bit of money to make something for me.
Hey, I'm at the mall. Will you just tell me what you want this year?
Remember, I told you about that new Abercrombie coat I really wanted to get.
Totally. Hint taken.
Currently, there's 9 professions in the game: gathering, processing, cooking, alchemy, horse training, fishing, hunting, trading, and farming. Each of which have a ton of depth and gameplay to them whilst being perfectly viable ways to make money. One great feature Black Desert has to help keep track of your progress is an in-game ranking menu that shows you where you stand stand against all of the other players on your channel. These rankings cover each of the professions as well as wealth and most experience. Getting to rank 5 or higher in any of these categories will display a logo and a number over your head to other players. I quite like how there's almost a competitive scene for professions.
Oh yeah, we leveled up soon
To really get far with professions, you'll need a lot of materials, and it'd take a damn long time if you went out to gather it all yourself. Don't worry though, this game allows you to hire NPC workers to go out to nodes and gather stuff for you. A node is basically an area of the world in which resources can be gathered, and different nodes provide different resources. For example, from a farm you get chickens, from a quarry you get rocks, and from forests your workers can gather logs. What's really cool about the workers in this game is you physically see them out in the world running back and forth doing what you've told them. It's at this point where you can really start to see the attention to detail in Black Desert. So right now you're probably thinking, what's in it for the workers? And that's a good question. Earlier I mentioned that you don't get experience for questing in this game, but instead you get something called contribution points, but an easier way to see them is investment points. To hire workers you'll need to provide them with a place to live. To do this you invest your contribution points into lodging and feed them beer. They're essentially slaves. Obviously the more contribution points you have, the more workers you can hire and the more money you can make, which always keeps questing relevant in this game even past the soft cap, and you'll come to realise that contribution points are way more rewarding than experience if you know what to do with them. Once you start to understand these systems, you'll begin to see how almost everything in Black Desert is interconnected as part of its game design. Everything feels relevant and everything serves a purpose. Even the buildings in this game. Every single building with a closed door can be bought and used as player housing, which has a ton of customization options and depth in itself. Certain buildings can also be used for different things. For example, some can be used as shipyards, storage, refineries, tool workshops, wagon workshops, and much more that I can't list because there's probably like 30 different types of buildings. I think I'd say about 50% of the game involves professions, hiring workers, and building a trading empire. But as a sandbox game, if that's not your kind of thing, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to do it. You can make just as much money from killing stuff and buying things off the auction house if that's what you want to do. What I'm basically trying to say is there's many ways to achieve the same thing in this game. You just need to pick a way that suits you, and I love the freedom this gives you. I feel like I've talked about a lot already, but I haven't even touched on endgame yet. As you may be aware, Black Desert doesn't have traditional endgame. You basically set your own goals. For example, I'm part of a semi-hardcore PvP guild on Proxus EU called Leviathan. As a guild, it's our goal to be one of the top guilds on the server and eventually own a city after winning a castle siege. So I'm just constantly working on becoming as powerful as possible to help out the guild as much as I can. Once castle sieges are out, all of the big guilds on the server will gather at one of the 3 castles. Each of these castles are associated with a city. The guild that successfully captures the castle will earn 20% tax on the auction house transactions in that city. Guilds can then use this money to increase the daily wage for being in that guild. These sieges are going to last a long time and will be a total bloodbath. There'll be hundreds of players fighting, so it'll probably be a good idea to turn your graphics down. Smaller guilds that don't want to compete with the big guys can fight to capture nodes. I'm not too sure what the rewards for this are, but I know your guild banner is physically displayed in the world by guards at that node. I remember the first time I played the Korean version of the game, one guild had a minion banner displayed at their nodes. I've already had experience with the guild versus guild in this game as we practice against other guilds that we're allied with. And I honestly love the PvP in this game. Every class has its uses and it just feels amazing to kill multiple enemies at once with PvP combos. Dying in guild versus guild doesn't punish you with XP loss, but it contributes to the score of your war status against other guilds. Obviously, you want to get more kills on the other guild than they have on you. Something I love about the guild PvP in this game is once you declare war on someone, you can fight their members out in the world outside of any town or city. It makes going out and doing quests feel exciting and dangerous. I'm always looking at my mini-map for other players, and as soon as I see someone with a red name, then the fight's on. If I get killed, then every member in my guild will get a message pop up that says, Kenshiro was slain by X guy from Z guild, and vice versa if I get the kill. It's just a nice feeling to earn glory for your guild. If you're not confident at PvP, then you can practice at the arena outside of major cities. There's no penalty for death, you can instant resurrect and anyone can join in. As I mentioned earlier, PvE endgame isn't that great, but to be honest, I think the game's good enough without it. The developers Pearl Abyss are, however, working on making more raiding and dungeon content for the future. I think right now they're actually making a naval patch, which I'd imagine includes new boats and ocean PvP. It could also be the perfect time to make sea monsters. Regardless, we probably won't see this content in the West for at least a year. Another thing I really like about this game is the constant sense of progression. Almost everything you do is progressing your character in some way. For example, running around increases your stamina, allowing you to dodge more. Eating food will level up your health. Carrying heavy trade packs on your back increases your strength, which allows you to carry more weight in your inventory. And riding your mount around will level it up and give it new abilities. Something else I think this game does, which I feel is really important in an MMO, is incentivizing grouping and interacting with other players. This is especially true when leveling up and grinding mobs. You actually earn more XP and are far more efficient if you go grinding in a group of 5. Grouping for boss scrolls is also way more beneficial because everyone gets their own loot. So if everyone brings their own scroll, then you're essentially getting boss loot 5 times instead of 1. I feel like you'll enjoy this game so much more if you join an active guild, because everything outside of professions seems to be very group focused.
Damn, well, what should we have her do? If you're doing water and lightning, you can be the healer then. You can do the part heals too. We can have her be a rogue.
If you can't think of something to aim for, how about just aiming to join or create
or the tank, I mean.
There's plenty of things to do together, and I honestly couldn't see myself playing.
She'll ask you before you recruit her, like, what do you want me to do? We can have her be the tank.
Before I list the pros for this
like
game,
a warrior
I just want to briefly touch on a few things I haven't mentioned yet. I'm not going to go into massive depth on these things because I don't want this video to drag on.
Her base thing is an enchanter, and if you're going to be basically her class.
Your character learns stuff about the world through the knowledge system. You gain knowledge by talking to NPCs, killing things a certain amount of times and exploring the world. Gaining knowledge rewards you with energy, which is really important. You can work on your relationship with NPCs for rewards such as hidden quest lines and vendor-specific items. There's a cow milking and mini-game. You can dye your armor different colors. The game has climbing mechanics.
Who's the other,
If you don't want to play PvP, you're somewhat protected by the karma system, so you're not going to randomly get ganked. You can physically go out in the world and tame horses. You can also get horse armor and dye that armor. The game has an active day-night cycle with some stunning weather effects and very dark nights. The gearing in this game is strange and very RNG-based, although it does have bad luck protection. There's auto-pathing in this game, which sounds bad at first, but you'll quickly realise it's needed. There's a decent amount of customization for the UI, but there can still be more.
It's Losa, not
Los.
Los.
Emote system in game for role
Losa, Los.
I'm sure I've still forgot to mention a few things, but just as a quick recap, these are the things that I like about Black Desert. The game has a fantastic combat system. The world feels huge, dynamic, and immersive. The professions in this game are incredibly in-depth and rewarding. You always have a constant sense of progression. The game has really good player housing with a ton of customization options. The character creation is good if the class you want to make fits within the gender and age lock. The attention to detail in this game is crazy. There's just so many small things that you'll notice that really makes the world feel alive. It's an MMO that really incentivizes the multiplayer experience. The PvP endgame is really fun if you're into PvP. The game has a good soundtrack. It has climbing mechanics, which is rare in an MMO. It's a game that doesn't hold your hand, and you're not punished for straying from the path and exploring. There's in-game rankings for various categories to help track your progress. Every building in this game serves a purpose. There's no dead space. Everything in the game feels relevant. You don't complete the quests in an area and never return there again. There's always at least one reason why you might want to return. You can sail the seas in your own boat and explore remote islands. It's not pay to win, and all future content updates are free.
Well, if you play Black Desert like that, it's not that fun. Wait.
I just grinded to level 50 and now it's so fun. I'm gonna go back to it when they release some other class.
It's really nice to see a game go in a completely different direction and try something new. Because honestly, the MMO genre needed it. Overall, Black Desert really is a love-hate MMO, and whether or not you enjoy the game comes down to a few things. If you're a fan of PvP, both 1v1 and mass scale, you should try this game because the PvP endgame is really good. If you enjoyed sandbox games such as RuneScape in the past, you should also try this game, as I feel like there's a good chance you'll enjoy the freedom you have. As someone that used to play a lot of RuneScape as a kid, I find myself enjoying Black Desert for many of the same reasons I enjoyed RuneScape. If you're a crafting nut and don't even care about the end game, you should definitely try this game, because the crafting in Black Desert is some of the best I've ever seen in an MMO. If you're a role player, then this could also be a game worth checking out. It's set in a really immersive world, and the game gives you plenty of tools for a good roleplay experience.
What I mean is,
just make sure you find out the name of the unofficial RP server before starting. If, however, you're a huge PvE fan and love raiding in World of Warcraft, this probably isn't the game for you. The summoned bosses in this game are pretty easy, and the world bosses feel like an overly punishing cluster of berserk. If you play MMOs purely for the story, this may not be the game for you, because the story seems to be pretty weak and the voice acting isn't great. If you're easily overwhelmed and aren't willing to watch some guides to learn about the more complex aspects of Black Desert, this could also be a game to stay away from. The game does a horrible job of teaching new players, and I think the vast majority of people that dislike the game do so because they don't understand it. If you prefer following instructions and having games hold your hand, then this 100% isn't the game for you. This is a game about setting your own goals and creating your own adventure. If you've got a really bad computer, then this isn't the game for you, because the system specs are quite high, despite there being a lot of optimization options. Hopefully after watching this video, you can now see why the MMO community is so divided on their opinions about Black Desert. I really wanted to make this video to clear up a lot of misinformation about the game, as well as save those of you that may not like the game some money and introduce those of you that may like it to a really good game. If you're still undecided as to whether this is a game for you, then I suggest you check out my 50 facts about Black Desert video, which should be linked on screen now. Additionally, I highly recommend you watch Fever's video, What Makes Black Desert So Special. It's a really well-made video and will also help you make up your mind about this game. Go sub to his channel too, because he makes some really great MMO content. For those of you that are new to Black Desert or decide to try the game after watching this video, you absolutely must subscribe to my friend PVT Wiggles.
Alright, you said what do you want him to be, an enchanter?
And I don't think I'd have learned how to play it if it wasn't for his videos.
Make her a warrior.
It's also probably a bad idea to take much notice of the IGN review for this game.
With a little muscle, I actually want martial experience.
And for some reason decided it'd be a good idea to make a review for it after reaching level 36. When I was level 36, I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, nice one IGN, as usual. The final thing I want to mention is that if you've got any suggestions or things you don't like about Black Desert, then please make a post on the suggestion forum and
deal damage so far, Battle Mage would do. Execution time can do a lot of damage up close and personal, and night would fit the bill. So I want you to look Inquisitor, a fighter who doesn't shy away from battling dark forces and pummeling against with heavy blunt and a hammer.
So that's it for this video, guys. This is by far the biggest video project I've done since starting
Which one?
YouTube. I really put a lot of effort into this one, so if you enjoyed it and I helped you reach a
the one where she can do damage up close
give it a like, because it helps me out more than you'd realise. Thanks for watching, you take it easy, and I'll see you again really soon.
Sounds fine. So, we're good to go? Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought. And I'll do my best to stay myself. Lead the way.
That's why I always pick a human elf. I should just pick my same character.
To those who step
Don't try and give a second thoughts again.
I'm not restarting again, man. I just don't move my points around. Actually, that's why I make the same character every time, bro. That's the perfect build for me.
I don't know why you like the way them elves look. What are the races Final Fantasy?
Not, they don't have the basic orc, elf, shoot. You'd have to see them. I couldn't just tell you. You wouldn't know what they are by the way it's playing. I don't know. They got cat girls, cat people, bunny people, fucking big orc looking niggas. Yeah, bunny girls. The Lalafels are their short people, humans, elves. and tiger people.
I am an Instagram boyfriend, but now that rolled chicken tacos are back at Taco Bell,
Sunset hard hand.
my hands are tied. Let's just enjoy this moment.
Take the picture.
Rolled chicken tacos are back with your choice of dips, only at Taco Bell.
Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I just feel like making a video of me doing some PvP in Black Desert, as recently a new expansion dropped and we now have Battleground. But before that I want to see if I can upgrade my gear, because I've got a lot of black stones and I've also got a Laverto that needs upgrading. Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video about Black Desert Online, as a lot of people have been asking me why I haven't made any BDO content for a while, and also am I still playing the game? Well, up until very recently, I have been playing Black Desert, but a few days ago I made the decision to quit the game due to a few reasons that I'll talk about in this video. Before I get into that though, I just want to say I still stand by most of what I said about the game in my review. I still think it's a really good MMORPG, and the best
Fucked
MMO
up my
released
shit,
since World of
yeah,
Warcraft, in
fucked it up.
fact. But as I played more of the game, a few things started to bother me more and more. As many of you are probably aware, Black Desert is a game that takes a hell of a lot of time to really get anywhere. First month the game was released, my YouTube channel actually suffered a big lack of content compared to previous months, as I was putting off video making to play the game and prepare for sieges. I got geared up really fast and had a lot of fun doing guild vs guild PvP, but it got to the point where I had to play the game less and focus on making YouTube content again, because my channel is obviously more important to me than Black Desert, and I didn't want to spam too many Black Desert videos because I want to continue to be a variety MMO channel, not be perceived as a Black Desert channel the same way I used to just be a World of Warcraft channel. But despite playing less, I still continued to play the game. Then part 1 of the Media expansion was dropped with 1 day's notice, which kind of pissed me off a bit, as it made everything I did in the 2 weeks prior to that feel pointless. If I'd have known Media was coming out, I wouldn't have bothered getting a full plus 15 set of Agerian armor in the first month, and just waited for Granil armor. At this point I was quite disappointed that Sieges hadn't been released, because I then felt the need to play the game even more to keep up with the gear curve, just in case Sieges were dropped with 1 day's notice as well, and as I've said before, Castle Sieges are the biggest thing I was looking forward to in this game. So back to grinding I went, and after about 1 week of Media I got to 130 AP and 160 DP on my Sorceress, as well as level 54, which was pretty decent at that point. It wasn't amazing, but I felt competitive. I then decided to just AFK fish for a few weeks in the hope that Sieges would come out soon, because to be honest, I was quite bored and burnt out of the constant gearing and level grind in this game. A few weeks later, still no Sieges, and a lot of guilds on my server are starting to fall apart, and then we've got hackers running around with no cooldowns on their abilities, and due to the fact I've taken some time off grinding to fish, my gear really isn't that great anymore. It's at this point where I'm doubting that I'll continue to play the game for much longer. The endless grind you need to go through to keep up and stay competitive, as well as dealing with so much RNG in everything you do, stressed me out, and the game felt more like a chore than something I just played to have fun. In the end, the reason I quit Black Desert was that it dawned on me that I'd have to give up a fucking stupid amount of time doing boring shit that I didn't want to do, just to be competitive and have a few hours a week of fun doing Castle Sieges. Due to the fact the game has no level cap and almost infinite progression, I wouldn't ever hit a point where I could stop grinding and just enjoy the game. Black Desert is probably the perfect MMO for someone that doesn't work and has a lot of free time, as you can pretty much play the game full time if you wanted to. But for someone like me that spends most of his time making YouTube videos, it just doesn't work. As the thing I want to do most in the game takes up more time than I can spare. From my point of view, why would I grind for 30 hours per week just for 4 hours of fun, when I can play Overwatch or Dark Souls and have fun instantly? And that's not just a Black Desert issue, that's an issue of almost every MMO out there, and that's why I'm starting to lose faith in the genre in general. I hate how in MMOs you always need to go through hours upon hours of boring shit just for a few hours of fun at the end. Why can't we fucking make it fun? If questing and progression systems were designed to be as fun and entertaining as possible, rather than being a mindless rite of passage, then maybe more people would stick around to see the big end game content that's designed to keep you playing for months on end. I fucking hate it when I cover an MMO in a first impressions video and get bored, only to receive comments such as, the leveling sucks but the game gets really good at end game. Why not make the leveling less shit so I don't quit your fucking game before I get to the good part?
and reaches out as if to touch your arm.
I'm sorry, I
Pulls
kind of went
back
on
at the
topic here, but to bring it back to Black Desert, there's a few other issues I have with the game that's caused me to quit too. RNG is a big factor as to why I stopped playing. Literally everything in Black Desert is RNG based. I can deal with some RNG in games, but Black Desert is just too much to the point where I find gearing a genuinely stressful process.
I'm sick now.
15, which isn't that bad because you have bad luck protection by force enhancing your gear for extra resources.
Can't even touch me while I'm sick. How do I get rid of this?
It's going to be such a ball ache because as far as I'm aware you can't force enhance, and at plus 16 you have the chance for your gear to drop back down to plus 15, and I honestly couldn't deal with that. I'd probably break my computer out of rage. I almost smashed my keyboard after I spent 4 days leveling up 2 tier 5 horses to level 30,
talk to that girl over
only
there,
to breed them together
contaminate
and receive 2 more tier 5 horses. I also got a lot of rage from pumping 20 million silvers worth of resources into my alchemy stone without getting an upgrade as well. The RNG in Black Desert just gives me more rage than joy. When I finally do get an upgrade, my reaction isn't, fuck yeah, I got an upgrade. It's more along the lines of, great, about fucking time this thing upgraded. Upgrading your gear, in my opinion, is something you should look forward to, but in Black Desert it's the complete opposite due to the amount of uncertainty that you'll get the upgrade. I also really dislike the fact there's no level cap in the game. I really don't think it's necessary in Black Desert. People call Black Desert a hardcore MMO, but the only thing that makes one player more hardcore than another is the amount of time they're willing to spend grinding the same easy mobs over and over. The actual thing they're doing to progress isn't hard at all in terms of difficulty, it's the complete opposite. But it's necessary to do if you want to compete in the game due to the fact that grinding mobs is objectively the best way to earn money. Getting those extra levels past the soft cap gives you some pretty big advantages over someone that's a lower level. Another thing I absolutely hate in Black Desert are the world bosses. All of them except Zarka fucking suck. They feel buggy, overly punishing, and just boring to fight. Red Nose, for example, is a 45-minute to 1 hour fight.
I fucked up my character again.
Oh my god.
Being incredibly laggy due to the amount of players fighting him. And despite this, each death you'll lose
Going
1%
longer,
of
we
your
won't
experience,
oversleep.
which are level 54 and 55, is a pretty big deal. So basically, no one bothers going to world bosses unless they've just leveled up and have nothing to lose from death. If you do want to go to world bosses though and not lose half a level of XP from dying to one of the boss's many one-hit mechanics, you can always throw your credit card at the game and buy Ellion's tears, which cost about 50 pence each. So to save yourself losing 10% of a level,
I should have just made the basic. I should have just made my OG character.
Why does it matter if you're an elf or not?
It's not. It's my whole build.
Why is that little midget so close?
We are trusted to uphold the balance. That honor is payment enough.
In Black Desert, the more damage you do to a boss, the higher the chance you'll receive loot is. This means if you're behind the gear curve, you could spend 30 minutes fighting a boss only to receive no loot. This system only really benefits the well-geared players and increases the power gap between the hardcore and casual. Using Ellion's tears when dying to a world boss is pay to win. So a few weeks ago, Black Desert Online was released on Steam and met with a flood of new players entering the game. As of making this video, over 280,000 people bought the game on Steam alone, according to Steam Spy. As someone that still plays the game every day and streams it regularly, I've had a lot of questions from people asking whether or not it's too late to start playing, and if it's possible to catch up with everyone else. So that's what we're going to discuss in this video, as well as go over a few other frequently asked questions that new players tend to have.
Hey, what's going on guys? Alex here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Black Desert Online. This is a game that I myself haven't played for quite some time. In fact, the last time I played it was some 2 years ago when it first launched on Steam. Since then, the game has had various updates and improvements, including a rather notable visual overhaul as part of the remastered release, and just this week, the game has had another new update, the Great Expedition, adding in yet more.
Women. You can't live with them, and you can't live without them. Unless they're a seductive demoness who literally wants to drain the life out of you, because
In that case, I think you can be excused for wanting to stay away. For those thinking this sounds awfully familiar, no, we are not talking about your ex-wife nor your ex-girlfriend. Today's video is on the succubus, or the succubi, if you want to refer to them collectively. When we think of a succubus, there are several things that come to mind. The more traditional among you would think of a demon that seduces men. Nowadays we just think of them as attractive women, and someone who has merely searched succubus into Google Images will probably think it's some kind of weird fetish. And it probably is. Some of you may even remember that train wreck of a movie that was Jennifer's Body, where Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried make out, and then Megan Fox is like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat that boy you like." And Amanda Seyfried was like, "No, screw you and your weirdly shaped toe thumbs, no succubus gonna eat my man." And that's pretty much the whole story. So I guess we begin with the definition and the origin. A succubus is a demon that takes the form of a woman, which leads us to the question of the day. If the demon is a man and then turns into a succubus, is that demonic catfishing? Who knows? The succubus can be traced back to medieval folklore. In these stories, once a demon has assumed its female form, it then comes to its victim in their dream, and the seduction process begins, which is then followed by some kind of sexual activity. Which raises the question, what does a succubus gain from this? I mean, sleeping with men in their dreams doesn't seem to have much of an upside. But as you may expect, there is an ulterior motive
Amidst a crowd
behind
of
this.
screws, bolts, and
There
scraps
are more
of
than a
metal,
few
the
theories
woman
as
is
to why.
manipulating a glove-like contraption
One that you might be
fitted with
familiar
5 long
with
metal
is the
screws.
idea of the
She
succubus
doesn't look
feeding
up as you
off the
approach.
man, either physically devouring his flesh or taking parts of his soul. Numerous encounters with a succubus are said to leave the victim with severe mental deterioration, causing hallucinations and, in the worst case, death. Some even believe the succubus was used as a way to explain sleep paralysis. The word succubus derives from several different Latin terms, one of these being succuba, which roughly translates to mean lies beneath or lies beneath the bed. This also relates to the succubus's position in relation to the victim. There are several accounts of the succubus in Jewish folklore, the most famous example being Adam's first wife, Lilith, who refused to be subservient and left the Garden of Eden, before becoming one of the 4 demon queens that slept with the archangel Samael. The descriptions given are that of a beautiful woman, but up close you can notice deformities, such as serpentine-like tails and bird-like talon, which sound quite similar to the sirens of Greek myth. And in the later years, the stories of the succubi were replaced with stories of sirens. They do also bear a resemblance to another creature from Greek mythology, Lamia, and in turn the Lamii and Empusa.
If you want to make your character, let's make your character.
Creatures that could alter their form in
But we ain't gonna be able to do that tutorial thing again.
I already know, it's too fucking late. I'm about to just get out.
Only to leave them the night before the wedding.
I'll make your character real quick.
Lamia herself was one of Zeus's
Or
scorned
we just gonna do
lovers that
this.
became a monster who devoured men and children as revenge for the very
Yeah, cause I'm gonna be a lizard this time.
Lamia herself was one of Zeus's scorned lovers that became a monster who devoured
Oh, it's the last time, man. I need to take off that mod anyway, cause that shit is ass. Fucking organizer shit just fucks up your inventory. Who plays like that?
Why just have a mod? Why not use any mods then?
What?
Then don't use any mods then.
They also bear a resemblance to another creature from Greek mythology, Lamia, and in turn the Lamia.
See, I wish I could have my elf looking like that elf that's be on that cover screen. Cause I know that's not supposed to be zero.
That's why I recently thought something. I'm fucking if I'm gonna make my own character, I'm picking the same file. Unless I'm figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. That fucking necromancer shit started boring as fuck. I should've just did the that's my fault, bro. I picked the wrong skills. I know I should've picked the resurrection.
Choosing to feed off the men they seduce, and others convincing encouraging young men to marry them, only to leave
I
them
was a
the night
rogue
before
half
the wedding.
mage. I was all fucked. It
Lamia
sounded
herself was one of
good.
Zeus's scorned lovers that became a monster who devoured men and children as revenge for the
Sounded
very
good
own
on
children
paper.
that she had loved.
Winning is in season with Burger King's Winter Whopperland. With the purchase of a fountain drink or french fries, you too can peel for a 1 in 3 chance of winning. Buy, peel, and win in the Winter Whopperland sweepstakes.
The word Lilith was thought to derive from a group of female demons in Mesopotamian mythology named Lilitu, who themselves are named after the demon Lamastu, who would kidnap children while their mothers breastfed, chewing on their bones and drinking their blood. She was also described as having a rather disturbing appearance. So this idea of succubi as grotesque demons who steal children is one that spans across more than just one culture. Throughout religion, the succubus is almost always portrayed as a negative and evil figure. You would then expect most holy and religious men to do whatever they could to limit the power of the succubus. But there are a few holy men who claim not every succubus is evil. The best example we have is probably Pope Sylvester II. And yes, I can appreciate the irony in a pope defending a sex demon. Before Pope Sylvester died, he confessed everything, where he revealed that a succubus had helped him climb through the ranks of the Catholic Church. He said that as a young man he came across a woman named Mary Diana, who promised him everything he could ever dream of. Wealth, good fortune, status, and knowledge beyond anything any mortal could teach him. There was only one condition, that he remained faithful to only her. And so he accepted. He would eventually become Pope, and despite the vows that he took, his relationship with this woman continued in secret. There are some different accounts to this story. Some believe he was so hungry for power and money that he summoned a demon that then took the form of a succubus, and that is why he confessed on his deathbed. Whereas others believed he simply fell in love and refused to value his vows over the woman he loved. Which is why when he eventually confessed, he painted her in such a positive light. Whether this is a story about a horny pope who found love, or a horny pope who found a succubus, I guess we'll never know. But it's safe to say that he was probably a shit pope. The Catholic Church, or those associated with it, did have some quite interesting ideas in regards to the succubi. In 1487, a man by the name of Heinrich Kramer published Malleus Maleficarum, better known as the Hammer of Witches. The work itself detailed literature surrounding demonology in the 15th century, and essentially it called for the extermination of witches. Witchcraft was of course forbidden by the church, and Kramer himself was once a clergyman, though he was later discredited, as most of what he wrote was inconsistent with the already existing Catholic doctrines surrounding demonology. The book was then condemned by the church for this exact reason, as well as by several German universities, because much of what he described was either illegal or unethical. Despite the efforts of the religious and educational institutions, the book stirred up an immense amount of interest, only being outsold by the Bible itself for the next 200 years or so. Now, as fascinating as this is, I only mention the book because Kramer does indeed discuss the succubus. According to Kramer, a succubus would collect the semen of the men she slept with and then give it to an incubus, who would use it to impregnate a human woman. This is how he explains demons could sire children, despite them being incapable of traditional reproduction. He then goes on to say that children born this way were far more susceptible to demonic influence and possession. Whether or not you believe any of this, I guess, is down to you. But the whole concept of a demon woman stealing semen and then giving it to a demon man to impregnate a human woman is pretty insane. And even if we ignore the scientific limitations of Kramer's thinking, what do the incubi then do? Do they turn the semen into demon semen? On second thought, I don't really want to know. The work of Heinrich Kramer did create some additional hysteria during the many witch trials that took place. as women who attempted to seduce men were accused of being a succubus in disguise, and women who fell pregnant outside of wedlock were said to be harboring the child of an incubus. Sounds like a fantastically civilized time to exist.
Last fall, their disappearance quickly became television's greatest mystery. We need to know what happened on that flight. And on January 6th, they're in exchange now. Last year's #1 new drama.
We are all connected. Whatever's going on is a danger to all of us.
Returns. What's going on?
The way we look at the succubus now has obviously changed. To some, the word may still conjure up images of a demon, but even then I'd hazard a guess that the demon isn't repulsive. Probably something that looks like it belongs in some sort of sex dungeon full of whips, chains, ball gags, and a host of items you wish you could unsee.
Oh.
Anyway, the moral of the story is, no matter how weird you think people are, there are always those weirder. Much, much weirder. The image we have today of a succubus is mostly that of an extremely beautiful woman. Perfect skin, great hair, and eyes you would literally sell your soul for. This is a stark contrast from the scaly, deformed succubi of old, with their horns and bat-like wings, which are more akin to a demon than a seductive enchantress. Though, if they can transform themselves from a demon to a woman, then it's not too unreasonable to believe they can change how human they look. Now, I'm sure it won't come as a surprise that we see the succubus quite often in modern fantasy. Stephen King mentions them several times in the Dark Tower series, where a succubus named Mia helps an incubus impregnate a woman whose child would then become a villain. Rather similar to what Kramer said about how demons reproduce, as well as the idea that the child of an incubus is more likely to be swayed by evil. Stephen King also describes them as sexual vampires, and this connection between the succubi and vampires does make sense, and the lines between them can be blurred because of the predatory way they behave. When we think of vampires, both male and female, much like the succubi, they will often seduce their victim before they feed, almost as if the chase or the thrill of the hunt is what they really take pleasure in. Now, of course, not all vampires behave in this way, the Strigoi being a good example of vampires who don't really care for the whole seduction process. This idea of female vampires being succubi does also exist in the Twilight series, but for your sake and as well as mine, we're going to pretend it doesn't exist and it never has done. Ever. We also have the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, which does mention succubi and incubi, with the protagonist's half-brother being an incubus described as having vampire-like qualities. Most people who played World of Warcraft would have either had or seen a warlock running around with a succubus as a pet, which is basically just a half-naked demoness with hooves, wings, and a whip, which once again takes us back to the age-old saying, he who takes the succubus as a pet is a weirdo. It's interesting to see the history behind the succubus and how these ideas have changed over time. What started off as pretty much disgusting demons that steal children became more and more visually appealing and seductive. But if we take the religious influence into consideration, it's not really that much of a surprise, as corruption and temptation are recurring themes throughout most religion. What I find more surprising is that plenty of authors and stories actually do remain quite loyal to the origin, but of course there will also be modern interpretations which are just awful. For anyone who wants a good laugh, I suggest watching the succubus interaction in Devil May Cry. It's definitely the funniest I've seen. If you do have any thoughts and ideas, or perhaps you know of some interesting stories that feature succubi, then feel free to share those with me in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained, reminding you to always say no to a succubus. Unless your dream is to be Pope, because in that case, knock yourself out.
Oh. Okay.
What class are you gonna be this time?
Yeah, I can't. Okay, I think I'm gonna change. I can change the abilities. I think I'm gonna be a knight.
OG shit. No point in switching. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And pick the same damn class. So I don't need to pick anymore.
You can make your elves all look the same.
Every character I've made in the last 10 playthroughs have all been Sophia looking exact. That's why I can make this class so fast. I do the same shit every time.
RPG, unless you gotta explore.
Twas the night before Christmas,
Gotta
and
explore.
with
You
his parents and
can't keep doing the same
fast
thing every
asleep in
time.
their beds,
I ain't never
Timmy
leveled it up
decided
all
to
the
sleep
way, so
downstairs
I
and
will when
open
I
his presents
max it out.
early. He was filled with excitement as he began to open everything.
Usually never got to the
But
end
when
of
he
this.
finally got to his own
I got
present,
far in my main
Timmy
game.
was left looking down at a cold, hard lump of coal. The room went cold, and he could hear the rattling of chains
You
behind
can
him.
only have one talent, right?
This year there would be no
No,
visit
yeah.
from Santa. For those who
Fucking
misbehave will only be greeted
Maybe
by the
more talents
shadow
that
of
are
Saint Nicholas.
It's just your starting
The
ain't gonna
demon
start
of
you off with
Christmas.
10 talents.
Krampus.
Alright. Well, in that case.
To many of us, Christmas means a time of joy, togetherness, and family. But if we're being honest, as kids, it also meant no school and a bunch of presents. There are those, however, unfortunate enough to experience the dark side of Christmas. Those who never got their visit from Santa. Misbehave and you'll be on Santa's naughty list. But what if that list was more than
So
just
I hear that there's a lot of
misbehaving
romance and sex scenes in
What
this
if that
game.
list was intended for someone
I'm
else?
getting started.
There's nothing like tales of a demon who drowns, eats, and
Alright,
drags children off to
tags.
hell to really get you
I
into
can't
the
change my
Christmas mood.
tags, okay.
Jokes aside, Krampus is one of my personal favorites, and it's also a video that I've always wanted to come back to and improve upon.
I'll show you all about it.
Stories
Just
of
wait.
Krampus have appeared throughout Central Europe
That's
as
a big
far
selling
back as
point.
pre-Christian.
I looked up, I just typed in Lewd, what's it called? Lewd Divinity. And there was a YouTube video, 30 minutes of straight sex scenes from this game.
I ain't got to see anything.
Huh?
But there's an instance I've encountered, so.
That's what I like. Games that aren't afraid to step out the boundary. Tired of these dumb SOWs. When does this game even come out? 2014? No, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015. Alright.
What are your skills and stuff?
My skills?
I'm not putting mods on this.
I can't change it.
We ain't gotta put them all on. But I'm taking it off the one thing.
I think I had more fun playing as this lizard.
No, I'm not gonna put on mods this time. We play legit. Okay. Just get to the thing.
An alpine tradition. This area covers a host of countries from Austria, Germany, and Switzerland to parts of France, northern Italy, the Czech Republic, and Slovenia.
I can't change
Modern
that.
Tales depicts him as the not-so-friendly companion of
No.
Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus, who punishes the poorly behaved while Saint Nicholas rewards those who have been good. However, it may
Can't
not
change the
always
skin
be
color.
When
That's
discussing
bound for him.
there are two distinct periods of time that give because most pagan traditions were either forgotten or absorbed into Christian traditions. The most common belief is that Krampus may have originated from a horn deity. And we know this extends further than just pagan beliefs because horn gods have existed in multiple cultures across the world. There is
Lore Master. I'm doing persuasion and bartering and Lore Master.
Sneaking thievery, I guess. I'll be stealing books. Talking about. Or a lore map. Which I don't need it. Why don't I need it? Know my foe.
I can just discover stuff.
Know my foe.
It really don't matter which one you get for you. You can do whatever you want for the symbols. So you're gonna be basically full warfare.
The similarity between Krampus and the ancient Greek satyr, both being quite rowdy and mischievous, but one is clearly more evil than the other. In Old High German, the word Krampen meant claw, which could refer to a clawed monster, but just like everything else surrounding his origins, it's all pretty ambiguous.
You can change, obviously, this
between Krampus pre- and post-Christian Alpine traditions are pagan festivals that took place during the winter, similar to Yule or
black and red armor.
During these festivals, men would dress up in masks and animal furs and parade around villages being a nuisance, which is something they still do today, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So far, there's not been much to suggest that Krampus ever had anything to do with
I'm gonna be trying to cut in a whole bunch of blood.
It would be best to do this one or Opportunist. Opportunist is when people walk past you and you hit them. Or the other one is when you kill somebody, you get 2 more points. You want to be kind of the close range person. I'm going to be the caster. We can have Lois as the healer and Sybil as the rogue.
If I'm gonna be up close with blood makes sense though, because they're gonna be dropping blood. That would make sense. Plus I'm a lizard. You said I can get more talents throughout the game, so.
Yes, we get talents later. It's whatever, man. It's still your ID, the rest, so I was just making sure you got what you needed. I don't care.
Is the night armor good?
I don't really know if there's one I... Red Dragon. Are you done? Is this for one?
Nighttime, a night lizard. Yeah.
Christmas or Santa Claus, other than appearing at a similar time in the year. In both Austria and Germany, it wasn't uncommon for individuals to wear a devilish mask and make a nuisance of themselves during holidays which honored Christian saints. This wasn't done as a tradition honoring Krampus, more so a
That's good though, it's better than you. Everybody else sticking to their rules. So simple. You're just gonna have to start tomorrow, or if game got in on, whenever he ain't on and shit.
In a subterranean battleground, heroes gather from across the globe.
If he on, maybe just do the other one.
Halloween used to be my favorite holiday.
But that should be our
Where
second
you could dress up as someone else and have fun without being judged. But as you get older, those times are few and far. If you're reading or listening to this is not a joke. The Trash Man is real. We summoned him, and our lives will never be the same.
Why do they always
We've
let
never
you talk
shared
to
what
me?
really happened that night with anyone, but maybe our experiences will stop others making the same mistake. The story begins a few years ago.
Easy now. No need to hurry.
This rather stupid and irresponsible people thought would be fun. The legend of the Trash Man, Lovecraft's undiscovered work. A seemingly harmless April rituals joke pretending the trash man had some kind
What
of
did they do to
secret
me?
law and wasn't just part of a TV
Get
show.
our bearings.
A story about a homeless man down on his luck, killed by a gang of thieves over a cup of coffee.
I'm finna be hitting all of them.
He didn't die.
I'm finna be getting all the
Encountered
lizard
an entity
holes.
that resurrected him as the king of trash.
I'm finna be getting all the lizard holes.
Say that now.
I'll admit at the time it was
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
but this is the internet. You can't just make a joke and expect
We'll
everyone to
find out.
understand that it's not real. In a matter of weeks, brainlets and mongoloids
just
all
like
over
I
the
had
world
to.
started cults in the trash man's name. Every Starbucks was flooded with people desperate for a venti, sugar-free,
I
non-fat,
can't wait until we get there.
decaf, no foam, extra hot peppermint, white chocolate mocha, or light with extra syrup, just so they can get a taste of their new Lord and Savior's favorite beverage. Most of all, the
You went through the tutorial thing.
mainstream. Numerous rituals and incantations that could summon the trash man.
Human body only needs 6 hours of sleep, is what Mr. Bechdel told me. That's the minimum.
Of course, the Instagram models and influencer leeches pounced on the chance to sell diet plans and workouts inspired and certified by the trash man. You can finally have that beach body.
I wish we would've fucking just did the same shit earlier. It's fucking 2 o'clock and shit. I'm just gonna get off. I don't save it. Ain't no point. You have to do this another time.
The Twitch streamers and YouTubers had their trash-flavored G Fuel, which contained real, authentic trash.
When are we going? So how's this gonna work? Because we got 2 different characters. This game guy and we got this. How's that gonna work?
I don't know, whenever he get off or whenever he ain't on, we could play on this one. If he's trying to get on, we could play on the other one.
I'm sure you're starting to get my point. The world
Yeah, I guess we can do that because, you know, whenever we want to put it in, he probably ain't gonna want to get on sometimes. You're like, no man, I'm playing Final Fantasy, I gotta do my dailies. Stuff be taking 5 hours.
I'm down to play this game whenever. I still gotta get through all that shit. So.
You gotta always be on them dailies, taking 5 years.
Some say he was taken by the trash man to his underground city, whereas
So we
others
got
say
to
he
save for
just
this
went
one.
back
I
to
still got my
making
main
regular
save.
mythology videos. No one really knows because
I got my skills right. So yeah, I'm good. Our characters are good, so we ain't gotta worry about no bullshit. Why are you got a blue outline? What is wrong with your character?
Blue outline.
What did I press?
So I decided to head back
You mean the blue stuff? It's on my skin?
If anyone enjoyed the holiday as
Oh,
much as
then you
I
have
did,
literally a blue outline.
they always had a massive party every year.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stopped when we all went off to
I don't
college
see
and
nothing.
did our own things. I got there about a week after just to see some
Oh, it's gonna
family.
get annoying.
I grew up in southern Philadelphia, so MIT wasn't that far away. I don't really know why I didn't.
Are you blue? What did I do?
The day I
What are you
arrived, we
talking?
agreed to meet up at our local diner, Frankie's. My best friend Zach, his girlfriend
I'm supposed to send
Kaylee,
people
Charlie.
down to the dungeons, not the other
Zach
way
and
round.
Kaylee were there on time, but Charlie was running late, as usual. So we
Oh,
ordered
wait,
with
okay, no,
our
it went away. There. I must have like targeted you when I was pickpocketing.
I'm gonna like his backstory.
They were both happy
Yes, you
together
do.
with jobs they enjoyed and
No, that's got
holidays.
illusions of grandeur and shit. Oh, I really want to play, but fuck. We gotta go to work.
About an hour in, when we were getting ready to leave, Charlie came bundling
I need
through
to
the
put on
door
my
with that grin on
clothes.
his face. The same grin that always indicated he had something stupid planned. He slid into our booth and slammed down an old beaten up
Stupid ass Game Awards took too fucking
You
long.
guys know what that is? No,
You gotta wait till tomorrow.
but I'm
Shit.
sure you're gonna tell us.
Need some damn chapstick. Fuck.
I only got 1 more week, man. The last weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna work next week. I'm gonna be on my ass.
I'm working next week too.
More interested than Zach and I did. You're damn right that's the one. Some guy in a suit and shades dropped it off today at the store.
You want to work next week?
Wanted for it. The idiot